Hey there, I'm Casey, and I'm a self-taught history enthusiast. I'm mostly interested in the point of time during the inception of the American Constitution. I want to know what went on during that time because its legacy still remains to this day. My knowledge comes from countless hours exploring documentaries, historical archives, Wikipedia, and even some help from AI. It's been an exciting journey, but there's so much more to learn. I invite all historians, history buffs, and knowledgeable viewers to share your insight and opinions in the comments down below. Remember, history is a collective story, and we're all a part of telling it. Now let's get started with today's episode. And welcome back to the Inspired America podcast. Welcome to episode 2. Today we are going to go over the George Washington article, and without further ado, let's get started. All right. Here we have George Washington, and now George Washington, often referred to as the father of his country. He played a pivotal role in the founding of the United States. As the first president of the United States, a military leader and a statesman, his leadership and vision were instrumental in shaping the nation's early history. All right. Now, so early in life and military career, George Washington, he was born February 22nd, 1732 in Westmoreland County, Virginia. He came from prosperous Virginia family and received a basic education. His early career included work as a surveyor and involvement in the militia, where he gained military experience during the French and Indian War. His revolutionary leadership includes, let's just read that article. What it says here, Washington's reputation as a military leader grew during the American Revolution. He was appointed as a commander-in-chief in the Continental Army in 1775, and he led the American forces to victory over the British during the American Revolutionary War. The critical turning point came with American victory at the Battle of Saratoga in 1775 and the French alliance that followed. Under Washington's leadership, the Continental Army endured harsh winter supply shortages and other challenges. His perseverance and strategic acumen were essential in securing American independence. Washington's decision to resign his military commission at the end of the war set a precedent for civilian control of the military, a significant step towards democratic republic. Contribution to the Constitution. After the American Revolution, Washington retired to his plantation at Mount Vernon, but soon returned to public life. He presided over the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia in 1787, where the United States Constitution was drafted. His presence and authority at the convention helped bridge the gap between conflicting interests and resulting in the creation of the new framework for government. His presidential leadership in 1789, George Washington was unanimously elected as the first president of the United States. He served 2 terms from 1789 to 1797, presiding over the implementation of the newly ratified Constitution and helped to establish many of the traditional and precedents of American presidency. One of his most important legacies was the peaceful transition of power, setting an example of willingness stepping down after 2 terms, a practice that became a part of an unwritten American Constitution until the 22nd Amendment was made into law in 1951. Washington's address. Upon leaving the presidency in 1797, George Washington issued his farewell address, a letter of advice to American people. In it, he emphasized the importance of a national unity and avoidance of the political factions and the need to steer clear of foreign entanglements. His wisdom and warnings in the farewell address continue to be relevant to this day. His legacy and death: George Washington died on December 14th, 1799, at Mount Vernon. He left behind a monumental legacy, as he is revered for his leadership during the American Revolution, his crucial role in the drafting of the Constitution, and his principal governance as the first President of the United States. His character and leadership set a high standard that influenced the direction of the young nation. In conclusion, George Washington initially aspired to become a general in the British Army, working tirelessly towards this goal until he was literally exhausted. Despite his efforts, he was overlooked by the king. Washington made notable mistakes during his campaigns, including the debacle at Fort Necessity. After this, he wholeheartedly committed to the colonial fight for independence. While many of the other founding fathers went to college and universities, Washington went to war. His legacy will undoubtedly go down as a major part of American history. Washington's fight was not only for independence, but for survival. He understood that failure would mean execution for treason by the British Empire, a fate that would befall all the patriots if their mission failed. It was a do-or-die mission, the American Revolution. What an incredible story. Now, in this article, I do have George Washington's farewell address. I'm not going to read it right now, but if you want to read it for yourself, come on over to inspiredamerica.com. That's inspiredamericahq.com, and give this a read. It's very interesting. All right. Okay. Next order of business. Let's check in with was it Professor Steve? Historian guy, Professor Stevens? Anyway, let's see what he's got to say. Make sure I didn't mislead you or say anything inaccurate.
As a historian, I appreciate the effort to provide a comprehensive overview of George Washington's life and legacy. However, there are a few points in this article that warrant further scrutiny or clarification. Birth date. While February 22, 1732 is commonly cited as Washington's birth date, it's worth noting that this was under the Julian calendar. In the Gregorian calendar adopted in 1752, his birth date would be March 4, 1732. And Casey, we gotta talk education, the phrase basic education might be misleading. While Washington didn't receive formal college education, he was tutored in various subjects and self-educated extensively throughout his life. I'm always happy to be here to help, but Casey, you've got a lot of homework to do, and don't go messing anything up next time.
Okay. I didn't think of that. All right. Okay.